Hi guys, and welcome to the Ebony Tarot. Firstly, I would like to start off by thanking everybody for their support, their likes, their shares, their comments, their subscribes. I really I do appreciate it. I really do. I'm really grateful at reaching 5k. Woo. If anyone would like to book a personal reading, all info on how to do so is in the description box below. Also, I'm getting a lot of people asking about my affirmation deck. The pre-order date has gone for this. However, I am open to creating one for you. Everything that I sell is made to order except for my bookmarks, but I'll come to that in a minute. So there will be an additional cost of £10 to order this. I have been thinking about reopening the pre-orders just because I get quite a few people asking me, but it's not enough for me to be like, yeah, let me reopen, because my decks are aimed to be limited edition. So when they are out, they are out. And if they are out of print, I will make an exception for you, but you'll have to pay the additional printing costs, okay? The price for everything to do with this deck, how long it takes to be created, it can all be found in the description box of the post on my Instagram account. So you just need to look through the latest posts and just read through the information. And then if you want to purchase, you can purchase. If you are outside of the UK, the USA, Canada, and you want to know how much the shipping is, just DM me. But that's if you're serious about purchasing, and then I'll find out for you, okay? Everything I sell is made to order. Everything is all the information that you want is on the page. You just have to make sure that you're exploring and that you're reading. You've got products and pricing page. I've got a website with several different pages on there, okay? The only thing that is not made to order are my bookmarks. So if you are interested in knowing wanting to purchase a bookmark and you want to know what I have, I will record a video of what I have left, and you basically just choose out of what's left over, okay? But these are the only things that are not made to order because they're already created by hand as well. So yeah, these are like, specially made by hand, okay? So yes, for those that are inquiring about my tarot deck, again, read the information. There is nowhere where I've stated that it is ready yet. It's in the production process, but as soon as it's ready, guys, I'll be on here gassed about it, talking to you guys about it like I did with this deck, okay? So like I said, if you want this deck, just DM me once you've read all the information. And if you're happy with paying the additional costs and everything and the shipping, then we'll get it. If you're someone who's waiting for one of these as well, I will be shipping these out either tomorrow or next week. If you're somebody that has ordered outside of the pre-order date, so yeah, I will be shipping those out. Okay. Now today, guys, I wanted to talk about an unpopular truth. Okay, I wanted to focus on divine feminine, divine masculine energy, and I wanted to talk about how you know whether or not you're in a divine feminine or divine masculine relationship, or if you're even of divinity, and birth charts and blah 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 and things like that. Okay, so let's just get into it. Now, there may be some things that I'm going to say that people are going to feel some type of way about, okay? Because I feel like I'm one of very few readers. I don't like to compare myself or compare any other reader to each other, because we're all unique. We all have unique gifts, and we all convey our messages in a different and unique way. However, we have to admit that there is not a lot of people that deliver messages from a place of truth, okay, from a place of clarity. People like to kind of, sugarcoat or go around shit, or sometimes people are just too toxic, or, do you know what I mean? Very unbalanced information is what I would say, okay? And so, I've decided that I want to talk about something, and again, whether you agree with me or not, I don't really give a fuck. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say that. I think it's because of all my Libran energy, but I just really don't care whether people agree with me or not. I'm just going to say what I feel, what the divine wants me to share, and through observation, through experience, through knowledge, through researching, is where I get my information from, and through downloads. I mean, my house of thought and mind and everything is in Pisces, so we just be knowing shit, okay? So yeah, so I'm gonna get into it. I was going to make a post about this as well, which I am still going to post. So for those of you who like to read, you can read the post about this because it kind of touches on what I'm speaking about. But, you know, I'm doing a video, okay? So what I wanted to talk about is the unpopular truth about the divine feminine and masculine energy. Now, it's not for everyone, okay? And we're just going to start there. Like, not everyone is of divinity. Not everybody is destined to be in a divine relationship. Not everyone is destined to have a divine counterpart, okay? That's just facts, okay? Not everyone can be an empress. Not everyone can be an emperor. That's just facts. It's also factual as well that the signs that embody the empress and the emperor energy, which is Libra and Taurus, Aries is the emperor energy. Not Scorpio. What is the other energy that embodies emperor? I would say mainly Aries, you know, my opinion. But what was I going to say? Just because you are that sign, it doesn't mean that you are you're officially, like, just because I'm a Libra, for example, it doesn't mean that I'm an empress. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It all depends on the nature of your birth chart, which is why I like to encourage people to explore their birth chart and their natal chart, because that will really tell you your purpose, why you're here, whether or not you are destined for divinity or not, whether or not you've got a lot of karmic debt to pay. Because at the end of the day, a divine connection is a rarity, okay? Divine feminines and divine masculines, they are rare beings. There are a lot of people that are going around titling themselves as goddesses, gods, emperors, empresses, and they don't even come into contact with the meaning of the word, okay? So I would say, when it comes to a divine connection, or when you know that you're with somebody who is operating, let's say operating from divinity, because you can say, like, your path is to become an empress or an emperor, is to become a divine feminine or divine masculine. We all have free will. So it doesn't mean to say that just because that is your destiny that you're going to get to that level, because, you know, you've got to go through a lot of series of tests, a lot of deaths, a lot of transformations in order for you to actually embody that role, okay? And that's why a lot of people keep repeating cycles and life lessons throughout different timelines and things like that, because they're not following the path of their true destiny, and that's why they create a lot of obstacles and chaos within their life. Now, how you will know, I say, if you're in a divine connection, first of all, both of you will be operating from divinity, okay? Now, you could be a divine feminine, let's say you're with someone and you feel like they're your divine masculine. You cannot force somebody, because what a lot of us do, a lot of people do this, they get into relationships thinking that they can change someone, okay? Oh, you know, they've got so much potential, you know, if only. No, okay? The divine feminine and divine masculine, we have to go through our own changes on our own. There is nobody that can force us to be something that they want us to be. There is nobody that can force us to step into our greatness. That is a decision that we need to make, because regardless of whether you feel like someone is your twin or your soulmate or not, you both have completely different paths. Okay, you both have completely different lessons, especially if you're in, like, you know, a heterosexual relationship. Like, you don't have the same experiences as a man and as a woman. So, you both have different things that you have to face and that you have to battle. And even though you can be there to support each other and to encourage each other, you cannot force somebody to be who you want them to be. And that is sometimes the person that you're with, that's the lesson within itself, is that you have to release and relinquish control and to focus on you and your health and your healing. Now, if you're in a divine connection, how you'll recognize is that there will be green flags and not red flags. A divine masculine, someone who's operating from that energy, somebody who is a boss ass, you know, they're very secure and they're very structured. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's very controlling, now, let me remind you, the Empress represents beauty, okay? That's one of the main attributes of the Empress. So your divine masculine will want you to embrace your beauty. They will tap into that God that goddess energy within you. So you will be exuding femininity. You'll want to look more like glamorous, more beautiful. You're probably somebody, again, the Empress is somebody who is multifaceted. So you're probably somebody who has infinite amount of talents and resources that just come from your brain. Okay, your divine masculine is going to want you to embrace every single part of that aspect of yourself. Okay, he's going to push you into your femininity. He's also going to want everybody to see, like, look at my Empress, like, look at my queen. If you're dealing with somebody who's very controlling, very possessive, somebody who stifles you of your beauty and of your Empress energy, let me tell you, that is not somebody who is masculine. And that is not somebody who is operating of divine energy. That is somebody who is operating from ego and probably a lower entity, a lower energy, because they are trying to oppress you from the attributes that you naturally possess. And it doesn't make any sense, okay? That means that they're like scared, like somebody who, for example, say you're dating someone and they don't want you to buy a certain thing from a certain person because they're a guy and they're attractive, or they don't want you to wear certain things because you look too feminine or you look too sexy, or they want you to stay in a box, and they don't want you to be an empress. They don't want you to do your own business. They want you to kind of like rely on them for everything and be codependent on them because they are insecure that they're going to lose you. That's not an emperor. An emperor is very secure within his masculinity. He knows he's the shit. He knows 1111, as I said that. He knows that he's with his divine counterpart. He doesn't need to keep tabs on you. Okay, that's not what an emperor does. An emperor, there's a healthy amount of respect in a relationship. And if somebody, the way I look at things, right, is if somebody is scared that they're going to lose you, to me, that person doesn't really respect you, because they obviously feel like you're some hoe or some Jezebel spirit, that you're going to go out there and cheat on them. So obviously it's either that person is a cheater themselves, or they're very insecure, or both. Because a lot of the times when you're in relationship, people project their insecurities onto you because they think in their mind, well, if I was like you, or if I was in this position, I would go out there and like flaunt myself or speak to other girls, so why won't you do it? Emperors and empresses are not like that. They don't have to feel insecure within themselves when they're with a partner, because they've already they know who they are. Like when you're a god and you're a goddess, you know this. So you know, as a god, when you have a god and goddess mentality, you don't go after Jezebel spirits. So you know anybody who you're divinely supposed to be with is going to think the same. They're like if I'm in a connection, for example, and I'm operating of divine feminine energy, I'm not going to be worried about my divine masculine talking to other girls, because I know that that's not something a divine masculine would do, because he's already mastered those attributes of themselves. Let's talk about it from a tarot perspective. To be the empress is all queens in one. The emperor is all kings in one. So you have to have mastered every king. The king of wands, mastering your sexual urges and your sexual impulses. The queen, the king of cups, mastering your emotional side. Okay, having emotional intelligence. Okay. Sorry, guys. The king of pentacles, you know, mastering your stability and your finances. And then, you know, the king of, what is the other one? King of pentacles, cups. Did I say wands? You know what I mean. You've got to master all those elements. Now, some of us, we're just the king of wands. We're just the queen of cups. And that is okay. It's okay to be of one element and to embrace it, as long as you're embracing it from a healthy standpoint. But let me tell you, not everyone is a divine feminine and a divine masculine. And why do you think there are so much people even watching tarot trying to find their true love? If everybody was destined for true love, everybody would have it. Do you understand me? Not everyone can live up to, you know, well, not live up to, but yeah, live up to the essence of what a true divine masculine and the true divine feminine is, because you've got to go through a lot of, like, you really have to face the core truth of yourself when you're going through a spiritual journey. Okay, there's really things that you have to really release and you have to let go of. You have to master, like, it's to be of divinity is to be a master of oneself, and you can only do that from your mind. Okay, this is somebody who is not influenced by their external, like the external factors. You're not influenced by what other people are saying, by what other people are doing. You don't give a shit about what Tom, Dick, Harry, and Sally are doing. You're not there to try and impress anybody. You're not there to try and compete. The only thing that you listen to is the divine guidance. This is somebody who follows the 7 Hermetic laws, who understands the 7 principles of Ma'at. This is somebody who understands, the law of nature. When you understand the law of nature, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't steal. Okay, you don't fuck with those types of energies because you understand the consequences. Okay, so if you're dealing with someone who's always lying to you, who's always cheating, but then you're like, oh my God, but I know it's my DM. I know it's my DF. How is it your DF? How is it your DM if they are not operating of divine energy? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, a lot of people are very delusional because they are with people that they really want. Like, I understand what it's like when you're with someone, you really want them to act right. You really want them, you see the potential, but you guys have got to stop falling in love with potential. Okay? A divine masculine is rare because a divine masculine is someone who don't sleep with hoes. They're not going to be in the strip clubs. They're not going to be sitting there with their friends talking about, yeah, that girl, she's got a big fatty, man, chop that, man, fuck this girl, man, can be that, meh. Like, they're not going to be doing that shit. They're going to be focused on their goals. Okay, obviously, now, we all go through that kind of stage where we kind of explore. We all go through a stage where temptation is completely and utterly just thrown at us. But that is because the divine wants you to know, do you really want to be on the life of divinity? Do you really? Are you ready? If you can have self-control in your single days, you're on the path to mastering oneself, because when you are finally given that person, and remember, a divine feminine and a divine masculine, that is all the attributes of everything you want in one person. That is a gift. That is a blessing. That is to be cherished. So when you're in that commitment, you will be cherishing one another because you know how rare and unique it is, okay? And so you need to make sure that when you get that connection, when you're in that connection, that you can maintain that connection. Because when you're in it, your power, the energy is going to be so powerful. And, divine masculines and divine feminines, they are very magnetic. So they will consistently have people wanting to be with them. They've got that alluring energy. And when you come together, oh my God, it's kind of like it sends off like a wave in the other spiritual realm where there's going to be loads of people at you trying to break the connection apart. So if you can master certain things when you're single, then it should be like a fucking water off a duck's back when you're in a relationship. You understand me? Because when you're single and you didn't dive into temptation, why would you dive into it when you finally got everything that you want in one person? It's not really worth the risk. So obviously, if you're dealing with somebody who, they kind of flop when it comes to temptation or whatnot, they're not operating off of divine energy. Because a divine energy is a true testament to being a master of oneself, a master of certain things. You've got to master the different elements, fire, air, water, and earth, before you can be a combination of all. Okay? Some people, they're destined to be hoes. Some people are destined to have that Jezebel spirit. Some people are here and they're facing karma for the shit that they've done in their past lives. So this is one of the reasons why I say that it's very important to know your chart. And you can also always tell when someone doesn't really kind of like know themselves, or they're not like, of spiritual mind, because they get offended. Like, for example, when you're a reader and you're kind of explaining certain energies, and then you get people in the comments getting offended. We're just explaining the energies. If you done any knowledge or if you had any knowledge, and you done any independent research, you wouldn't be getting offended. Fire energy has there are 6 negative signs and there are 6 positive signs. That's just facts when it comes to astrology. You've got to figure out which sign you're on so that you can find out which negative attributes that you are made up of, like how it affects your surroundings, how it affects your relationships with people. Because a lot of people are actually karmics themselves, and they are always, and you'll know when you're operating off karmic energy because that's what you focus on. Do you know what I mean? People who are focused on elevating and who are focused on ascending, because again, to be of divinity, you have to ascend, right? That's what their focus is. If you're always focused on low vibrational energy, you most likely are the low vibrational energy. Because a lot of low vibrational people, they always blame everyone else. It's always everybody else's fault. And sometimes you're the problem. So this is why I try to encourage people to learn about their birth chart, their life purpose. Because, you know, learn about individual signs as well. Learn about compatibility. Maybe you're dealing with someone and, yeah, they could be a sun sign in Libra, and Libras will partnerships. But that person is like fucking fucked up as fuck. You know, they're very non-committal. They're back and forth. Maybe they've got a Sagittarius in their Venus. Maybe they've got Sagittarius in their Juno. Like, maybe that's why. The places of love and marriage, okay? That's why it's not working, because you're only with somebody, you're dating their ego, because your sun sign is your ego. That's your personality. You're trying to look for people's moons, people's Venus, people's Juno. That's what you're trying to look at. People's Jupiters even. How are they expanding? That is the planet of expansion. What planet do they have in Jupiter? Then you'll know where you're going with that person. What's their north node? What's their destiny? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's how you can really find out whether or not you're compatible with a particular person, or where you're destined to go in your life, okay? And then you'll stop getting so angry at other people for just being them, for just operating from their nature. Because you'll have an actual understanding of their genetic and astrological makeup as well as your own. And then that will also help you to make better decisions for yourself when you are in partnerships with other people. If you're operating off a mature mindset, again, that comes into divinity, because you have to be very mature to be divine, okay? Then, you know, even relationships, when you break up with people, you're able to break up amicably and say, do you know what? Our energies are just not resonating. This is just not working for me. And you're like, you know what? I agree with you. I'm hurt. I'm upset about it. But like, let's move on. Not like, oh, you fucking this and oh, you that and next thing you know, I'm gonna seek revenge because he broke up with me and look who like. People are out here acting like children. There are children having children. Okay, you know. So you need to like really kind of learn yourself and stop kind of giving yourself titles when you don't embody the title that you're giving. And also stop asking for people that the people that you know you can't match their energy. Like people, oh, I want this person who does this and this. And out of those things, you can only do one. That's not an equal match of energy, people. Okay? So it's kind of like about knowing your lane and staying in it. Okay? And if you want to ascend and you want to evaluate, you need to understand there's certain attributes and levels and things that you need to let go of. And it's very hard. There's loads more toxic people than there are non-toxic. So, it's, you know, that's why I say that divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy is very rare. It's not for everyone, because divine feminines and divine masculines don't be doing what the average person